I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The original Constitution, I think it is an imperfect document, and I think it is a document that reflects some deep flaws in American culture, the colonial culture nascent at that time. I think we can say that the Constitution reflected an enormous blind spot in this culture, and that the framers had that same blind spot. It also reflected the fundamental flaw of this country that continues to this day.
I saw a tremendous pattern of the growth of the infrastructure of a totalitarian state in the last 8 years post 9/11. I mean, it's been going on for decades. We've seen for decades encroachments on our liberties, and then a crisis would come along, and then all of a sudden they had a chance to get their policies passed they've been wanting to pass for a long time.
Yesterday, President Obama signed an executive order claiming the right to incarcerate persons in the Guantanamo Bay military prison for the duration of their natural lives, even after acquittal. You heard that correctly, after acquittal. Following upon President Bush, President Obama has claimed the power to punish people even after a jury has found them not guilty. No Western government has ever claimed the power to do this. Not the King of England, not Hitler, not Stalin, not even the Russian and Chinese communists. Now, I realize that most Americans have little sympathy for those incarcerated at Gitmo, and most no doubt assume that they are there because they probably did something wrong. They must be guilty of something. But that view turns the Constitution on its head. When he was a senator and running for president, Barack Obama stated that the beauty of the Constitution is that it guarantees fairness to everyone. He was right. But as president, he wants to lock people up forever, even after a jury finds them not guilty. Why should you care about this? Because if the government gets away with it by demonizing these prisoners and making it the popular thing to happen, it could happen to you. The Nobel Peace Prize winner has just announced and authorized that he has told the CIA that it can assassinate American citizens in direct violation of the Constitution's Due Process Clause, in violation of federal law, and in violation of treaties to which the U.S. is a party. The Due Process Clause to the Constitution states that no person, whether they're overseas or in the U.S., may be deprived of life, liberty, or property by the government without due process of law, which means a jury trial.
So the president says, look, these people are on the list. Is that what he does?
What the CIA does, and it doesn't happen very often, what the CIA does is they go into literally to the president, and they have a list of all of the things that this person has been charged with, and they have all of the, not charged with, not indicted.
And he signs a death warrant.
He signs a death warrant.
Yes, our president has a hit list of American citizens like you targeted for assassination. And there are indications that the list of Americans targeted for assassination is growing.
The CIA has the authority to execute without charge, without trial, without jury, without judge, without appeal, American citizens that it considers dangerous simply because they're not located in the United States. Where do they claim to get this power from?
The president's battlefield powers extend everywhere, even to places where there is actually no combat whatsoever.
It's not just overseas, because notice that they've always claimed that the U.S. is part of this battlefield. That means implicitly that they're saying the CIA can now assassinate any American, not only overseas, but here, as long as they label him a suspected terrorist.
Elizabeth, don't you dare apologize for one word that was spoken for. For each word that I put into your mouth, I have commanded you to release a book with all the prophecies in them. I have commanded you to release a book on who the Ruach HaKodesh is, the revelation that I gave to you in secret. But time and time again, things have been delayed. For now, I give you a new command. These things are to be released now on audio. For this is the quickest way to get it to the people. For the time is so short, and my people perish perish for the lack of knowledge, for lack of the knowledge that I have imparted in the holy prophetic messages that I have spoken unto you. There is an urgent need, for the great tribulation will now breathe down upon your necks. I, Yahweh, watched this evening as I watched on another calendar. They have another date, but this message is not too late. I'm trying to say I know their heart. They still fast before me. They still grieve for their sins, and I warn them, draw closer to Yahushua than ever before. For there is a totalitarian dictatorship that seeks to cover the entire world. They know if they can get by with it in America, it will cover the world. Beware of the totalitarian dictatorship, for they will leave you with no choices. They take away the freedom of your speech. They will take away any airwaves that would teach the truth. They will muzzle the true newscasters that want to warn what the governments are doing. They will censor all that is written. America, you have a president of the United States whose hero is Hitler. He seeks the same power. He has the same messianic complex, sees himself as a messiah. He is a totalitarian dictator in his heart. He promised you change. That is a platform he run for office on. I warned you through the holy prophecies that the change would not be for good, but for evil. Now you hang your heads and shake your heads in amazement, for what I have prophesied has come to pass. And now you have the worst president that has ever been elected president. I did not put him there. It was your choice. I, Yahweh, but just allowed. For those of you who cast your vote for him, hang your head in shame, for I hold you accountable if you are not speaking forth and rebuking what you have done, and the evil has just begun. No longer is America the land of the free and the brave. There is not one thing that you have not compromised, as sin is legalized. For once you stood for morality. Once you rebuke other nations that tortured, now you are the torturers. Once you'd hold up the Geneva Conventions, now you mock it. Anything goes in America. The world looks on America and watches before its eyes. To those who peacefully protest, are beaten and locked up. How America's own president, Barack Hussein Obama, runs a socialist agenda, where once America stood against socialism, communism. Now they have a president who shrugs his shoulders and says, so what's wrong with communism? Oh, America, what you have done. Your forefathers would weep for you. The freedom that you fought so hard for, you let a minority strip from you. Your children now are indoctrinated in school to sing songs of praise to Barack Hussein Obama. Your children now are indoctrinated in schools to accept the lifestyle of the homosexuals, and they are taught what's wrong with it. Your children are now taught in schools there's no such thing as a creator. It was all evolution. I warned you through this holy prophet. Get your kids out of the dens of the Antichrist. How many years ago? For I do nothing without first revealing it to the prophet. I warned before the judgments come. I warned you, Canada, do not follow in your sister America's footsteps. And now you walk in unison. These are the words I have to speak on this Yom Kippur. You are going to see things you'd rather not see. You will hear things you will not be able to believe. For Satan's servants now run rampant. There is no church. There is no organization. There is no business. There is no synagogue. There is no government where Satan's servants are not found. The schools, now school your children and tell them there's no such thing as morality. What a sad, sad day that more have not stood up and defended what they knew was truth. This ministry is like a voice in the wilderness. This holy prophet is as a woman in the wilderness, and she cries out to you, repent while there's yet time. And again I say, the great tribulation, the day of Jacob's trouble, is breathing down your neck. And how many are oblivious to this? You live your life as if you'll live forever. You make plans so far in years in advance, but am I not the only one that can count your days? You save for a retirement that will not come. Why do you not invest in the kingdom of heaven? Do you not know that is the only thing that will stand? What you did for I, Yahweh, and lifting up the name of my son Yahushua, your Mashiach. There is a famine already. It's spread all over this world. The famine is for my true word. How few even know who I am. How few understand why Yahushua came, who Yahushua is. How few believe that there is is a price to pay for unholiness. It is more than just saying a simple prayer. It's living your life, putting action and faith behind that prayer. How few churches now stand against sin. How few defend others when they are prosecuted for even praying in a school. Why did not every church arise and defend these two men? When you see stewardess unable to wear the symbol of their faith, which is a cross, when you see the crosses forcibly taken out of hospitals, you who call yourself Christian churches, why were you silent? And now you say, Abba Yahweh, how could you allow our freedoms to be taken away? Why is our freedom of religion and speech taken away? I say unto you this day, what did you do with it? How did you fight for it? What are you doing now? Why are not all of you doing something? This ministry does their part. Ask me and I will show you how to do your part. Abortions are so common now, so a child can have them without even the parent's permission. What you do about it? Did you do anything? What did you do to protest same-sex marriage? What did you do to stop the homosexuality that's rampant across this land? Did you stand up? Did you defend and say, Abba Yah made one man and one woman for a purpose? Babies are given to the homosexuals. Legally, they can adopt. Sin has been legalized. Imagine what the next generation of children will be like. No morality, no knowledge of God other than the government. Anything goes as long as it makes you feel good. Undisciplined, where the parents are forbidden to discipline. Imagine the path to hell, even wider and broader than it is now. So this is what I prophesy will happen out of this ring maiden's mouth. Such a famine is coming, just as you who have been starving for my word. I tell you this now, for prepare for the days ahead. How do I prepare, you say? Feed yourself. Feed on my truth. Learn who I and YAHUVEH and the Ruach HaKodesh are. Feed your soul. Take not the holy word for granted. Feed on the holy prophecies that I have released through this handmaiden. For every word is true. You will know what you are to do. For such is the day of Moses, so it shall be again. But I leave you with no hope. I give you hope now. The plagues that are coming are not for you, for you have put the sign of the blood on your doorpost. It covers you. It is the blood of YAHUVEH, your Mashiach. I, Yahweh's only begotten Son. As a heathen will walk in darkness, you will walk in my guiding light, the only eternal light, who is YAHUVEH, your Mashiach. As I, Yahweh, put the manna on the grounds, do not doubt that I will do it again for you. As you feed on my heavenly manna now, do not doubt that I will feed you. Just as surely as rock poured forth the water when Moses struck it, just as surely as I pour forth the living water now to those who receive it, I will provide water for you when there seemeth to be none. Just as surely as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown in the fiery furnace, just as surely as a fourth man appeared and walked in the flames with them, and they were not burned up, and they were delivered and set free, so all could see there was no stench of smoke, and even their bonds, as they were cut, saying, all exclaimed, who was the fourth man that walked in those fiery flames? I'll tell you who. It was YAHUVEH, your Mashiach. And what he did back then, he will do again for you. If you are walking holy and obedient unto I, YAHUVEH, and each day asking for forgiveness of your sins in the name of YAHUVEH, your Mashiach, I will cause you to be invisible. I will confound the governments of the lands. Walk in my ways, and on this Yom Kippur day, realize all have sinned and fell short of my glory. For there is but one perfect one that walks this earth, and is YAHUVEH HaMashiach, my only begotten Son. So if you want to weep this day, weep for what is to come. Do all you can to those who are yet unsaved, who have not called out on YAHUVEH HaMashiach's name. Weep what they will go through, for again I say, as you see the Totalitarian Dictatorship arise in America, that is how close the Great Tribulation is upon you. Rebuke the liars, rebuke the slanderers, stand up and defend this ministry if you want to continue to hear holy messages from me. Help where you can, support where you can, offer an encouraging word, but put action behind your words. Help lift the burden, for the burdens are great. No longer of fear, sharing my words. When I put it upon your heart, warn while you can, protest while you can. Woe be unto you, America, for you are a sign how close the time of Jacob's trouble is. You are the clock that I have set my watch by, as the world watches and watches your freedoms die. You were warned, for I first sent this holy prophet to warn America, but when they refused to listen, and a majority of pastors cast the words out as false, saying America will always live, America's a great nation. We are to support our president. We are to abide by the laws of the land, even when they go against the holy scriptures. I told my holy prophet, America will not listen, and instead I ordained her to be, and called her forth to be a prophet to the nation. The clock is ticking, especially as you see the so-called health care that is being fought over. This bill is not about life. This bill is about death. Who will live and who will die? Who will have access to doctors and who will not? Who are born again believers following Yahushua? They have your names. They already know who you are. You will get a health care that you will not want if you do not protest now and at least cast your vote in heaven. But I have a way. I always provide a way. For my two children, there is a way of escape, but I reveal it not now. Don't forget, Sukkot is coming. Do the best you can to observe it. If you can do nothing more, sleep on the floor and make a tent with a blanket. I know your heart. I know what you can do, and I will honor it, and I will bless you. This is a somber, somber day. How few acknowledge me and even pray. Even if they set their time on the other calendar for Yom Kippur, how few cared, how few cared, how few even bowed their head. And in the Christian churches, how few taught what Yom Kippur even is. But that is your responsibility. If you're in a Christian church, part of the organization church, it is your responsibility to let them know. If the pastor rebukes you, you know then it's time to go. And Ichabod I shall write on that church door. These are the somber words I have to say. Hope for my true holy ones who follow Yahushua HaMashiach, my only begotten Son, and grieving and gnashing of teeth who have refused that blood shed for them at Calvary. So set your clock and watch America, and you will know when you see all freedoms go, the great tribulation has begun when the last of the freedom goes. Yahweh have spoken.